Alright, so I've seen Red One. I got to see this at an early screening a couple of days ago, and this is the new action-packed blockbuster that is also a Christmas movie with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans that are paired up together to save a kidnapped Santa Claus played by J.K. Simmons. And even for what I'm about to say, with my impressions and my thoughts, and plus this will be a spoiler-free review, so you don't worry about that. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that I liked about it and some of the stuff that I did not like, and even with the fact of what went wrong, but also talk about also some of the positives as well. But we'll see in this video. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future videos. But now let's talk about this movie. And now, with Red One, and now, especially with this being like a Christmas movie while also being an action-packed blockbuster, and many people thought this is the sequel to a Red Notice that was released on Netflix back in 2021 that had Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. And the answer to that is yes and no, because even with these two movies, and I don't think they're related, and I don't think they are the same thing. But even Red One, it's a completely separate movie. And now, especially like this is like the first time in a while seeing The Rock on screen after a while, and even just with this movie alone, that it definitely had me thinking like this is like so generic and while also predictable. But for what I could also tell, with the way that it looks and the way that it feels and acts like a Christmas movie, it definitely feels like, even with its reported budget and just with having that PG-13 rating, it definitely lacked so much potential of what this movie was set out to be, and especially what the behind-the-scenes drama behind this movie. If you read the articles and stuff like that, I can definitely see why it made this movie to what it is, because even with this film that was supposed to come out like a year ago, but because of the strikes, but simply with this movie alone, and this is with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans that are paired up, like I mentioned, to save a kidnapped Santa Claus played by J.K. Simmons. And for what I can basically tell is, especially with the formula that is used here, it's the same thing that we've seen a gazillion times. Like nothing new is being added. But I do want to add what I did like. I mean, I like a good Christmas movie. At the same time, I did like that this was an action-packed blockbuster, which it tries so hard to be, and also following that formula of a high-budgeted PG-13 action-packed blockbuster. Like it literally feels the same, especially with the same jokes and the humor. But even with our main characters, with Dwayne Johnson playing one of Santa Claus's security guards or his assistant, keeping an eye on him, I liked his character. But at the same time, with the moments that he has on screen, it is definitely ruined by just the way that he portrays it. It's so cringe, and it's something that it is getting old. I mean, trust me, I like The Rock as an actor. I like his movies, but even with this one particularly in general, I feel like there's like the same stuff that we've seen from him in almost every movie, especially with this one. But I feel like, I don't know if he takes it seriously, but I just know that he is definitely having fun with it. But even with Chris Evans, who plays Jack O'Malley, especially with this guy that has a backstory, especially from his childhood, it's made him be like a naughty bad person who has like a son that he is not there for. But I could definitely tell, I liked his character and the way that he is portrayed it. I definitely liked this period, but at the same time, it was not so much, because especially this has star power. These are two iconic actors. But getting to see them work together, I mean, it was pretty cool. But at the same time, it definitely feels like something was definitely very off. Now, especially throughout the entire movie, I definitely liked how it's Christmas themed. That we get to see the North Pole and what this movie has set out to be. And also, I definitely liked J.K. Simmons and his role as Santa Claus. I mean, this dude rocked that role, and even with the other additional characters, I don't know if I felt interested in it. But even on the positive note, I want to say that this is I mean, of course, it spreads all that holly cheer. It delivers some good action, but at the same time, especially with the CGI that we've seen on the characters, especially with the snowman, it kind of feels wonky. It's something that we see a gazillion times. But especially with Krampus, like, and especially with him like slapping the Rock in the face, just for fun. I feel like that was funny as heck. But I gotta say, with the villain in this movie played by Kieran Shipka, I feel like it was kind of weak. But at the same time, like, it just didn't really work for me with the way that the villain was portrayed. It's sort of like predictable plot. It's sort of like MCU-ish. But I just like I don't know like if this movie worked for me. Like, especially with Chris Evans in this movie and with his work post Marvel, it certainly has not been good or didn't work for people. But I just like this. I like to see him back on the big screen, especially like alongside Dwayne Johnson in a Christmas movie, and that's something that it was really stuck out to me. And the one thing, and all the bad things I have to say about it, it's so like generic, and especially when these two like have like moments together on screen, it's kind of ruined by a different moment, or like the same joke appears. Even though sometimes I found myself laughing throughout parts of the movie, like I definitely admire all the stuff that was put into it. But even coming from like the Rock who like made this Christmas movie, I just definitely feel like it was just simply not that great. And one thing that I do find obvious is that this looks like a movie that you would find on a streaming service like Netflix or Prime Video. It has that streaming quality, but with this given a theatrical release. Also, one thing I wanted to say that I didn't think it was bad. It was just simply not that good of a movie. Well, I did enjoy some of its heartfelt moments, especially between The Rock and Santa Claus, and those two really hit it off. And plus, there are some good moments to be had. And plus, I mean, you'll be laughing your butt off at some of the craziest cringe moments that they throw on screen, but it's sort of enjoyable. And on the bright side, I want to say that this is a fun Christmas movie, especially if you're a fan of The Rock or a fan of any Christmas movie, and you're in for some like a hardcore or like just some like fun action Christmas fun. I mean, this movie is for you, but for me, like, I liked it, but at the same time, it felt so generic, and it has that same formula reused over and over again. And so my final thoughts is I liked it, but at the same time, not so much. It kind of felt so predictable, but I definitely liked how it ended. I mean, it definitely has like the good vibes of Christmas, and something that the family will enjoy. And so yeah, these are my thoughts. Plus, I definitely like Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans' pairing. I thought it was good, but at the same time, it was meh. But that's all I gotta say about it. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and what your thoughts on Red 1, if you've seen the movie, or if you plan on seeing it. Just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, and subscribe and turn on notifications below for future videos. Also follow all my social medias always linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.